I started running every day on November 15, 2020. Along with that, I also started exercising every day.
Running. Бежим 5 км.
August 12, 2023, it's been 1000 days since I started running and exercising every day.
Бегаем уже 15 дней. 52-й день бега. Бежим уже 201 день. 397 дней. 730 дней. 1000 days of running.
In 1000 days, I ran about 30,000 kilometers, pulled up about 110,000 times, and pushed up about 140,000 times. This big idea was inspired by Hela, a man who has now been running for almost 2,300 days. He inspired me to do something every day, and I decided not only to run every day too, but also to pull up and do push-ups.
У меня нет турника дома, из-за этого я иду на улицу подтягиваться, а качалка закрыта. Мне надо потянуться 100 раз на улице.
In the first year of constant running and training, I was able to run the first 90 kilometers and transform my body a little by training with weight, but not every day, but on some days. On others, I trained with my weight and did recovery training. Although on some days when I was running a huge ultramarathons, I couldn't train because I ran for about a day, but the next day was 100% closed. As in running, so in training, I didn't do intense training for all 1000 days in a row. There would be no progress. I balanced between high loads and diluted it all with recovery training, when you do half load and at low intensity.
I just run. The most difficult thing is not just run every day. It is running the distance you set for a day.
In the second year, the focus was more on type of load. I switched to high volumes and did strength loads. Consistency was no longer a problem. I just could not live without it. For the second year, I did about 20 ultramarathons during the year and 10 marathons in a row. This is the first 100 miles and the first 100k without stopping. Were just the same to move to high volumes. Consistency in medium distance helped me. I also did 1770 pull-ups in 10 hours and 5050 push-ups in 10 hours. Even after long loads that lasted half and even a day, the next day I still trained.
Сейчас даже достаточно тяжело идти. И сейчас я иду бежать км. Это на самом деле довольно сложно. И сейчас я вышел на 1 км. После того дня.
It dried me out a lot. I found my meaning of life in it, so I can longer live without it. The third year I started with 70k, since I set a goal to run 200k already in the summer, whereafter I specifically pumped my constancy. I decided to run 1000k in 30 days, running 33.3k a day, so I've just run 30k full distance. I just feel a little bit heaviness in my legs. It was my toughness and achievement that changed my whole approach to everything, especially to self-discipline, because every day I was at my best. After that, I pulled up 19 hours straight, during which I did 4180 pull-ups.
It's so hard not because of volume, it's hard because of pain.
The second hand started to break. Look at here. Of course, after that I couldn't pull up, but then I could do push-ups. Then I prepared hard for 200k, and after that I could only do 140, as I hurt my foot at 100k.
So painful right there, but half left.
But the truth is that the next day I still managed to do 5k.
It's painful. I remember when I did my first 100 miles last year, I said myself, I will never run again. So long. This year I ran 19 miles for 140k. I want to run more. I think the more you run and the more it's fun for you, even ultramarathons.
There were injuries, but at the same time I continued. I only recovered by doing a minimum and at low intensities, which helped to keep the sequence, developed the ability to monitor the body and not overtrain it. So I recovered.
Over 4 weeks my knee is injured, but I'm still running and I'm getting better day by day.
I was also sick, and on some days I even had to run at home. I did the minimum, but I did it anyways. There were no seriously diseases, because here it is also worth understanding that when the body has enough physical activity, the body works very well, so my body coped with most diseases. There were also days when there was no time left for training. Everyone has at least 30 minutes or 1 hour a day, so when I didn't have time, I also did the minimum. Even having 10 minutes, you can run 1k, do 20 pull-ups and 50 push-ups. Such a load will not give a result. It will keep you in shape and strengthen the discipline in doing something constantly. For me, the minimum was different. Now, for example, it is 5k, 50 pull-ups and 100 push-ups. I started to build volume from this workout, and after that I started using this workout as recovery training. But I always had time with running, since I especially get up early to do a run first. So before that the minimum was only in training. So it's 3 AM and it became much more difficult to do it every day. It's stressful, it's hard, but I do it. For 1000 days, the shape has not changed as much as my thing, since basically my training was for endurance. There was no priority for hypertrophy, the priority was on volume, both in running, in push-ups and pull-ups. Pull-ups and push-ups makes me better every day when I do it. And because of this, I like it. Therefore, 1000 days of constancy and anything will create in you a completely new person with a completely new life.